Państwo, a za chwileczkę na planszy głównej mecz o brązowy medal rywalizacji drużynowej florecistów. Ze względu na to, że na pozostałych planszach toczą się walki, skrócona prezentacja. Ladies and gentlemen,
well, they're coming out now with the bronze medal match introductions. France v. Great Britain men's foil.
And please welcome Team Great Britain. And the referees are Isako Scomparini, Italy; Piotr Kiełpikowski, Poland; Przemysław Vogt, Poland; and Martina Roymiller, Austria.
So Scomparini.
Good luck.
And Pikowski referees, along with Vogt and Roymiller. And our team lineup for Great Britain is Mepstad, Halstead, Cruz, with James Davis in reserve. And for France, Lepechu, Lefort, Cadeau, and Jean-Paul Tony Hellesy in reserve. It will be Cadeau to open for France and Cruz to open for Great Britain.
Attention please, attention s'il vous plaît, le capitaine d'équipe de la France, Fléréon, capitaine d'équipe de la France, Fléréon, s'il vous plaît.
So, Karam, are you surprised that James Davis has been put into the reserve spot for this third place match?
No. Did you watch the last match?
Well, I did.
So no, I'm not surprised. It's tactical, I think you would call it, a tactical selection to put Mepstad in. But I'm going to make a bold prediction right now. I think we will see Davis in this match against France. I think they already know that he is going to come on probably, I would suggest, for Lawrence Halstead in the penultimate fight against Jeremy Cadeau. He likes fencing the left-hander Cadeau, and so I think he will come on for that match. But of course, we don't know that. That's just a gut feeling that I have that one, they won't exclude Davis completely from this match. There's a bronze medal at stake, and two, they'll plan to bring him on either way. If they're behind going into that penultimate leg, they'll want Davis on to put them back in the lead. But of course, Cruz is now the anchor for the British team. He's picked up his old spot. He was usually the anchor for the British team, so he goes out first and last.
Well, we'll keep an eye on all of that. Both of these teams, both France and Britain, started very poorly in their semi-final matches. France having a hard time getting off the ground against Russia and never fully gained altitude. Britain simply wasn't in the match against Italy. So both sides are going to have, I would imagine, a sense of purpose here. This Cadeau's attack off target. Isako Scomparini of Italy, the referee for the first two legs of this match.
Nice attack there from Cadeau. And a quick look at the how the rankings, the world rankings, are going to be affected ahead of the Olympic Games. And I think, if my calculations are right, Great Britain will face Russia at the Olympic Games. So now we're getting into the tail end of the last competition. This one and the Pan American Games are the last two big events happening before the Olympic Games. The seedings will be finalised in the next couple of days for the Olympics, so we can start making some predictions about who will face who. And I think that Russia-France match was a critical one for whether Great Britain were going to face France or Russia in the 8 at the Olympic Games.
Cruz with his first point here.
You know how every day of these championships, it's been birthdayed for one of the competing athletes.
Yeah. Who is it today?
It's not a fencer, and funny enough, it's not actually anyone that's here, but a friend of the live stream and international referee Javier Lorenzo celebrates his birthday today, or I've given him his full name, and I can do that right now because I've got a rotten cold, as you can probably hear, but it's perfect for the pronunciation of the Spanish referee's name because it's Javier Lorenzo.
And as you say that, Jeremy Caddo tumbles over backwards. Well, that takes us to the end of our opening period. 5 for France, 3 for Great Britain. Enzo Lefort on for France and Marcus Mapstad. Marcus Mapstad is not a junior member of this team by any stretch. He's very talented fencer.
Yes, some good results this season. Back-to-back 16s in the World Cup and Grand Prix circuit. Rio is certainly in his sights, but he'll be in peak condition by the time we get round to Tokyo 2020. That's, of course, if he carries on. And he's a young man, he's young enough to do it, but he's also very gifted academically and has a bright career in banking ahead of him. Already secured some work, I understand.
Really?
Yeah. And he's a jolly decent chap as well.
That is true.
As is Enzo Lefort. That was Lefort's attack, but it didn't land.
Go second leg. It's the bronze medal match. Men's foil team.
Well, it's been a great little outing for the Brit here.
Well, Marcus Mapstad seems to have righted the ship, restored the confidence of the British team, which would have been badly shaken in the semi-final. Lefort only 1 point so far.
Well, apologies if you had a bit of a sound interference there. I was just getting Magic Tristan to deal with my knob, which was turned up a bit too high.
Referee Scamperini is going to go and have a look at this. Attack Mapstead. He's slid in for that one. What would the referee be looking for here?
Don't know, David. You were the one looking. I was just trying to just make sure my sound balance is yours, right? Are you getting distortion?
No, I'm fine.
Right. That's good. Then we fixed.
There's a long run, short slide. Mapstead flew down the piste, and then when he got to Lefort, his feet went out from under him, and he hit him on the way down.
Well, then it could only have been a call for making a hit whilst being off balance, but hit stands.
Britain mean business, and 7 points from Marcus Mepstead. Only 1 for Enzo Lefort. And we go into the third, Britain leading 10-6. Erwin Lepechu on for France. He will face Lawrence Halstead. Well, the referee's microphone is not responding. And we had an issue with that last night. I think the sound man, so I looked down there, had walked away from his control position. Lepechu stepping in, and Halstead waiting. Halstead asking for his weapon to be checked. Works. Point stands. Parry off target. Lepechu. Nice attack there from Halstead. It came after the halt, but Martina Roymuller, the assessor, the floor judge, indicating an inappropriate turn of the body by and covering by Lepechu. He earns a yellow card. Still Lepechu's attack off target. Halstead asking for a video review, saying that Lepechu had gone past him. And a good call. He had gone past, and no point awarded there. Attack Halstead off target. Oh, lovely. Halstead and Lepechu came together. Halstead is a bit tied up and then reached around his back and hit his opponent. Lepechu off target. Lovely stop hit there from Lawrence Halstead. You have to say at this point that wherever the British team earlier today left their confidence and composure, they have found it. France, not so much yet. Lepechu's attack there off target. He lost his mask clip. Oh, lovely attack from Lawrence Halstead. And now what is Erwin Lepechu looking for? Call stands. That will take us to the end of the third. 15 for Great Britain, 8 for France, only 2 in that for Lepechu, 5 for Halstead. We go now to the fourth. Jeremy Cadeau back on for France. Marcus Mepstead for Great Britain.
Correction.
Oh, I need to look up, don't I? He has been substituted. It is James Davis now in to face Cadeau.
Well, We knew he wanted to face Caddo. I thought he would be coming on a little bit later in this match, but he's come on for Mepstead instead of Halstead.
Well, Mepstead leaves with a +6 indicator.
Does he?
Yeah, he was at a 7-1 run against Enzo Lefort. Caddo, however, not impressed. Very riposte, Caddo. Now, Caddo took a whack to the back of the head there, and he is in a bit of discomfort. When Davis is building these attacks, Caddo just waits and then dives in.
Women's label, Azerbaijan, Spain, Italy and Hungary, please. Azerbaijan, Spain, Italy and Hungary. And team captain, men foil, Poland, Germany, Ukraine and Hungary, please.
Caddo losing control of his weapon there. Well, I hope Great Britain doesn't come to regret this tactical decision. But it looks like they might.
Not firing on all cylinders today. James Davis.
He's got his first here. Really battling for that one. Let's see if he can. He's come unstuck here.
Having to dig deep, isn't it?
In his opening period against Italy, he failed to score.
He's pushing that one through.
Caddo surrenders his weapon. Cado's attack. Hesitation, preparation from Cado. Hit is given to Davis, but the French ask for a video review.
Good call from Jeremy Cado. He's called it simultaneous, the referee. Cado didn't quite get what he wanted, which was the hit swapping sides, but at least James Davis doesn't get one. You have to say, you look at the teams ahead of the Olympic Games. At the moment, USA are head and shoulders above everyone as a team, have been this season at least. The other big team on their day, of course, and that's very much dependent on Sheng Lei, or Lei Sheng, I should say, and which version of him turns up. But they can be world beaters as well. But outside of those two, other than Italy, who performed extremely well today, you have to say that Great Britain, France, Russia, they're all going to be in with a shout. With a medal at the Olympic Games.
Well, this is starting to look pretty damaging.
Yeah, but look, Great Britain still lead, and they're beating a very, very good French team with Davis underperforming, or not. I don't want to say underperforming. That sounds I'm being critical. He's not on his best form today, and that's completely understandable. Fencing is an individual sport. Sometimes you're absolutely on it, and other days you're not quite there. But even with him not at his best, Great Britain are still leading. So this has become a very strong unit.
Oh, I'm not doubting that. But what was a 7-point lead is now.
Oh, no, I understand you're talking about specifically inside this match. Of course,
yeah.
It's a good point. But
he does get to the magic number of 20 to take us out of the fourth. But an 8-point outing there for Jeremy Cado. Erwin Lepechu on now, and he will face Richard Cruz.
Well, Halstead took Lepechu apart, came out of that with a positive 3 indicator. Lepechu therefore on a -3 indicator coming into this one. And I'd say I think Richard Cruz is starting to show some form in this match that we didn't really see against Italy, did we?
No. Lovely attack there from Cruz. I would say, seeing Lepechu in the match against Russia and in his first outing here, I would say that, much like Davis, he's just not on the form that you expect to see from him.
Right. It's not underperformance though. I think it's that thing about how important is it for them to peak at this year's European Championships? Well, it's definitely not as important as it would be in a non-Olympic year. The Olympic Games is 40-odd days away, and they really want to be peaking for that and not this one. But
Lovely counter. Almost a trademarked move from Cruz. Cruz off target there. He's controlling Lepeshu here. We're so used to seeing Lepeshu sort of, put his very big personality all over the piece. And
Sorry, that was just a. You want to watch that one back again, time and time again. The acceleration from Lepeshu and the accuracy and tightness of that fake disengage was absolutely beautiful.
it looks like he's got his back up here.
Nice.
That will take us out of the fifth. 5 for Cruz, only 1 for Erwin Lepeshu. And not a good outing here at all. We go to the 6th, Enzo Lefort. Back on for France, and Lawrence Halstead for Britain.
Well, Halstead's been the form player for the British team so far today.
Ducking counter there from Halstead.
Not quite committing to the attack there. Halstead more conscious to go for the block, and caught himself between two places. That's better from the British fencer. Actually committing to the attack, not worrying too much about the block afterwards. Parapost.
Well, Lefort taking a knock there on the calf, and just trying to rub it off. That is Lefort's attack. Nice hit there from Lefort.
That was good. There was a bit of commitment there in that attack into preparation. He landed it and got the block in as well. So up for this. Look at him. I know. Having spoken to Lawrence Halstead at the last competition, he really is focused on the team event for the Olympic Games. Even though he's going to be competing in the individual, he says for him the team is a more important event.
Well, the call there was attack through for Lefort. Halstead asking for a video review, thinking that he had picked up the parry.
He did pick up the parry, but he didn't land the first one, so he went for a second parry, and I think that's going to be called a continuation for the French fencer, and it is. In fact, he didn't even call it a continuation, he just said it was one attack. Again, this commitment making the difference on the attack into prep. Both looking for a circular seas flick. Halstead finishes it off though. Brilliant fight from him.
5 for Halstead, 5 for Lefort, and we go into the 7th. Ooh, wait a minute. Is that Marcus Mepstead? Remember at the cadets and juniors,
Oh, so
where they were testing something where you could substitute, you could put in a substitution and then replace that person.
Nice of them to tell us they were doing that here. I think that's something special for the Europeans. I don't believe this rule has been instigated for the Olympic Games.
Okay, well, it would have been nice if we had known that this was in place here, but it is Marcus Mepstead back.
Well, in some respects, it's kind of handy that rule's being used here for the British team because Davis didn't necessarily put on the best performance in his little outing against Cadeau.
Well, it's Lepechu out there for France now.
So for those of you sort of wondering what the heck's going on here, they tested something earlier on this season with a substitute being allowed to come on for effectively what would be the middle match of 3 for one of their teammates, and then be subbed back out, but for the fencer that they replaced. So it's interesting. I like it.
Yeah,
actually.
I do too. It added an extra flavor to those team matches at the cadet and juniors. Marcus Mepstead just owning this. Wait a minute. That's not Lepechu. That's Tony Hellesy. Final action belongs to Mepstead. Lepechu is on the least they could do is change the pictures.
Nice. Britain have been working on that hit. It's quite an interesting one. It's a second intention counter-attack. And that sounds bizarre, doesn't it? But basically they throw in a short attack, draw the parry riposte from their opponent, run out of distance. That delays the riposte, and then it, if you like, it slows the defending or the riposting fencer down, and then they just dive in again. It's a very clever little tactic.
Well, Lepeshu finishes with a -7 indicator, and Tony Hellesy finishes with a -5. We go to the 8th. It's Halstead for Britain, Cadeau for France.
Yeah, Mepsted's the other one you want to look out for the indicator at the end. He only had 2 fights and he finished on a +11 indicator. And this is slipping away from France at a rate of knots, and the way that Halstead's been fencing, I can't see the gap being closed here.
Got the women's saber team 3rd place match coming up at 50 minutes past the hour, which is over half an hour from now. Parry off target there. I've noticed down in the warning track on the France side several times the fencers have lost their footing down there.
Well, yeah,
As Halstead just then came in and his feet slid. Same thing happened to Mepstead. He went down on his backside.
yeah, it only takes a little bit of dust on these very fine metal pieces to make them extremely slippery. Of course, could be dust on shoes as well. Walking around this venue, it's an indoor athletics track. And there's been plenty of movement, plenty of footfall here in the venue as well.
Halstead getting the line out in time. And at the point. And again. Well, that'll do that. Okay, in the 8th and in the 7th, Tony Hellesy unable to score. In the 8th, Cadeau unable to score. We go to the 9th and final leg. Cruz to close for Britain, Enzo Lefort for France. And an 18-point Great Britain lead.
My last competitive domestic outing was against Lawrence Halstead, so I feel, partly to thank for, the development of this.
Well, you boosted his confidence that much.
I did. I really did that day, actually. I actually have to say, for the only time in my entire fencing career, I felt that my opponent was so dominant and so gracious that he actually gave me a couple of hits in the fight. It was not my proudest moment on a fencing piste.
Well, Halstead finishes with a +8 indicator.
It's a weird one, this, because if you like, because the teams came into this tournament not overly concerned about the results, probably having a minimum, satisfactory result level to aim at. And I think both of these teams have reached that by making the semi-finals, and then everything after that is a bonus. You kind of got a bit of a weird situation, because it's going to be a great confidence boost for Great Britain, no doubt, taking a bronze medal away from the European Championships. But because the French team also came into the tournament thinking, well, semi-final is good enough, whatever we get out of that is fine. It's not going to dent the French confidence. Well, that's a weird thing to say, but
Yeah, but you know, we have seen over the years situations where a Britain team can excel one moment and then they do a vanishing act. And I think it's a positive for them to be able to take the beating that they took from Italy and come back and show, you know, what is clearly their true selves.
well, and then the other thing about the British team as well is that they've become the masters of the bronze medal match in team fencing. From my memory, they've taken out Russia, they've beaten Germany, they've taken out France. Not sure they've done Italy in a bronze medal match, but you know, they've taken some of the big teams in bronze medal fights, where you know you've lost the semi-final, you've got to try and pick yourself up after the disappointment of not being able to go and fight for gold. Great Britain have become very good at that, very hardened. Oh, lovely stop hit there from Cruz. Well, Cruz is playing. It's nice to see. Free-flowing Richard Cruz. Oh, look at that!
Yeah.
I said, it's almost on the verge of cheeky.
Yeah, you look up counterattack in the dictionary and you'll see a picture of Richard Cruz.
Nice stop hit. Absolutely glorious hit to finish. And Great Britain are the bronze medalists.
45-28, 6 in that for Lefort, not nearly enough. And where does
Zwycięzcami w meczu
-1.
brązowy medal w rywalizacji zespołowej florecistów.